Kindly step all the way in, please, and make room for everyone. There's no turning back now.
Welcome aboard, TTA travelers. Whether you're a humanoid, a robot, or an alien passenger, we hope you enjoy your trip along Tomorrowland Transit Authority's Super Skyway.
It's always fun to be free.
That's my son. Together we stand together. Dory, are you okay?
Yeah, why wouldn't I be?
Nemo?
WDW Radio, your information station. Hello, my friends, and welcome to the WDW Radio Show, your Walt Disney World information station. I am your host, Lou Mongello, and this is show number 175 for the week of June 20th, 2010. Today is Father's Day, so whether you are a dad, a grandpa, a father-to-be, or just a father figure, I hope you've had a very, very happy Father's Day. And with this being Father's Day, I thought about some of the various ways you can experience Walt Disney World with your dad or with your children. So we're going to take a look at the top 10 things to do with your dad in Walt Disney World. And whether you're a parent or a child looking to find new, creative ways to make lasting memories, I think there's something here for everyone. I'll play more of your voicemails and have a few announcements at the end of the show, so sit back, relax, and enjoy this week's episode of the WDW Radio Show.
Tell you about my best friend. He's a warm-hearted person who loved me till the end. People, let me tell you about my best friend. He's a one-boy, cuddly toy, my up, my down, my pride and joy. People, let me tell you about him. He's so much fun. Whether we're talking man to man or whether we're talking son to son.
There are many reasons to visit Walt Disney World, and likely equally as many reasons to celebrate when you get there. And we all go for different reasons. Sometimes it's a birthday, anniversary, honeymoon, spring break, or just because. And sometimes we visit to celebrate holidays, whether it's Christmas, Easter, Mother's Day, Arbor Day, whatever it is, we can find a reason or an excuse to go. But with Father's Day right around the corner, I started to think about visiting Walt Disney World with my dad and how he was such an integral part of defining who I am today and certainly instilling my passion for Walt Disney World. And now as a father myself, I try and carry on his legacy and create memories for my children and for myself that are as vivid and as important as the ones that we made so many years ago. But I think Father's Day is one of those overlooked holidays because, sure, the moms get all the love in May. They get special dinners and flowers, etc. But what about dear old dad? So this week, I wanted to look at taking your dad to Walt Disney World and some of the various ways you can experience Walt Disney World together. And whether you are a child taking your father or a dad that's looking to maybe start to create some of those lasting memories with your child. Or, look, even if you're just a guy who wants to maybe treat himself to something special, I think you're going to find something valuable in this week's show. And speaking of valuable, I've brought in a man who is loved by many, including his daughter, who I know looks up to him and appreciates their time in Walt Disney World, the creative force behind Celebrations magazine, a great son, a good friend who loves his top tens, and so much more. I bring you Mr. Tim Foster.
I get flowers on Father's Day.
Do you really?
Don't? Sure. I thought everybody did.
Flowers? I don't want
Sure.
flowers. I'm getting an iPhone 4G,
I know what
baby.
you
I'm
want.
getting an iPhone 4. and I almost said you put the fat in father just because it was there, but it's not true, so I let it go.
Oh,
I just
man.
let that one go.
Well, I'm glad you didn't say I put the her in father.
Oh, I could have done that too.
You could have done that too.
So, but look, this segment it's going to be more than a top 10 list of experiences and things to do and places to go. And I'm going to explain what I mean by that later. But really, for me, this is something very, very personal. And, my feeling with this segment, Tim, was, my love of Disney came from going with my parents and my memories of my father. So I think about other kids and who are now parents that may feel the same way. And it was kind of what I thought of in my mind was, Dad showed you the world. He taught you everything about the world, and now you get to show him yours. You get to bring him to a place that we love so much and we are so passionate about, and maybe we know more about than our dad. And he showed us the world, and we can sort of show him our Disney World.
Yeah, it's an interesting holiday because you can see it in a couple different ways. Because when you first proposed this idea to me, which I thought was wonderful, as they all are, actually my mind went in a slightly different direction because my experience I never really went with my parents. I did when I was 5, but I don't remember that except for my brother losing his Donald Duck hat. But I think everyone's sick of hearing about that. But my main experiences were taking my daughter and experiencing through her eyes. So when you say Father's Day to me and Disney World, to me it's spending time with your child and like seeing the park through their eyes, experience it that way. So, but it's like you can look at Father's Day means different things to different people, which is great, and it's great that you can celebrate it any way you choose to at Disney World, depending on who you are in your situation. So.
Exactly, and I think we're going to, because we're approaching it possibly from slightly different angles, we may cover a wider breadth of things to do. Because look, I think a lot of people who are listening are dads, and they are certainly also sons who maybe can go with their father or went with their father. So there are different ways they can approach it. And like I said, look, if you aren't a dad, or maybe if your dad's not around, these things may still be of value to you simply as the experiences or things that you can do for yourself or things you can even do with guys that are like your dad, whether it's a brother, whether it's an uncle, a close friend, whoever it might be. So we don't share our lists beforehand, so I'm very, very curious to see yours because I have a feeling there's probably not too much overlap unless you start talking about the Haunted Mansion at length. But go ahead, why don't you go first, Tim?
Whoops.
Well,
there goes my number one. How did you do that? You always do. Now, I will say before I start, a tip for newlyweds, because I went through this, even if you don't have kids yet, if you have pets, you're a dad, so it counts. So you get to celebrate. You buy that?
Well, I don't know if I
buy. Work with me here.
Yeah, it's already 5 minutes in.
I did it for many years. The cats say Happy Father's Day and set me golfing.
Is that how? Right, that's how you justify buying yourself something.
Exactly.
So, right.
It's from the pets.
My cat is buying me an iPhone 4. So.
Oh, your cat too? That's awesome. Hey, speaking of golf, my first one. Now, the first thing, one of the things I thought of when you typically think of Father's Day here is that's the day, mom gets the brunch, but dad gets to go out and play golf all day long, which seems kind of inequitable, but that's how it works, at least in our house, sometimes. But I didn't really want to go that way at Disney World, but I'm thinking more along the miniature golf lines. And taking your child with you to play miniature golf. And actually, the one place I think is kind of a good mix would be heading over to Fantasia Mini Golf near the Swan and Dolphin, but visiting Fantasia Fairways, which is a unique golf course. It's not like your typical miniature golf course in that it's more realistic with sand traps and hills and actual greens and that sort of thing. So it'd be a different experience for both of you probably. And while you may not be taking your 5-year-old out on the links to play 18 holes, this is a good way to share that experience and you can both have fun. and it's really neat. I've done it a couple times, and it's really different from your typical miniature golf with your windmills and stuff. Not that that's not fun too, and if you have time, go play 18 there as well. But it's a really unique experience, and it's a beautiful course, and it's a wonderful time to be had. And I think it's a great way to, if you have the child aspiring to be a golfer, maybe want to take them out with you one a day, it's a good way to get them started. They can miss putts just as easily as you can.
And look, Fantasia Gardens is no joke. I mean, that's a serious, that's a tough course.
Yeah.
As far as miniature,
well, I had a hard time on it a couple times.
But, and I'm happy you brought that one up, because it definitely goes to sort of the overriding theme. It goes to my first one, because look, a lot of the ones on my list are not about the experiences themselves. It is about the time. And the first one for me is somewhat very personal, because for years as a child, one of my fondest memories with my father was going on fishing trips. Every summer we would go away with a bunch of guys and their kids, and it was just guys and 15, 20 of us that would go away up to Canada or Maine to go fishing. And I never understood until I was an adult how important that was. And in Walt Disney World, you can do that as well. You can go on the bass fishing excursions. And I actually did a video about this a couple of months ago. And you can go out on a pontoon boat that holds up to 5 guests. It's about $260 or so. That includes all the equipment, all the bait, a guide to drive you around. You can go 3 different times a day, 7, 10, 1:30. You can go on Bay Lake. You can go on Crescent Lake. You can go from a lot of the different resorts. And it really is such a good time. And look, Tim, it is not about whether you catch 1 bass or 100. It's about just the time being out there with no other distractions other than maybe the ferry boat or the train whistle off in the distance, which is, I think, enhances the experience. I went out with a friend of mine, and it was just such a good time, because it's not about being in Walt Disney World there. It's just about joking around and having fun, a very, very simple pleasure. And if you've never done it, Tim, if you are not a fisherman, it doesn't matter if you drop your line in the water or not.
Well, I'm glad you said that, because I couldn't catch a cold, so I'm not a very good fisherman.
And look,
but you know what? I think it's a lot of what we're talking about. It's all about, like you said, it's about experience, but it's even about the little experiences. Because when you said that, this wasn't on my list, but it reminded me of walking down the boat dock at the Wilderness Lodge, and my daughter going nuts wanting to feed the ducks and all the other birds around there. And just little things like that, like getting the food and feeding them, or feeding the fish if you can see them. There's big ones swimming right under the dock there. So
right, and
it's little things like that.
You mentioned golf. You mentioned miniature, which is the only level I can play out. But certainly, there's 4 professional courses there. There's 81 holes of golf. There's also a 9-hole walking trail. You have Osprey Ridge, Lake Buena Vista, the Palm, Magnolia, the Oak Trail course. There, again, too, it's the social aspect of the golf experiences. You can take lessons together if you're not really good golfers and want to just sort of start off together. There's no better place than there. If you don't want to go out on a boat, you can grab a fishing pole and go fishing off the dock at Riverside or Fort Wilderness. If active sports like that maybe aren't your thing, let's keep with the sports theme. Take the Richard Petty driving experience. Do a ride along. It's like $110. Great, exhilarating experience. Your dad can say, yeah, we did it together. We did the ride along thing together. If he's a car enthusiast, you can go down to, and maybe don't want to spend that much, go down to Ride Makers in downtown Disney. Build just goof around and build one of the little cars together. Or you know what? Just go to Wide World of Sports or go to ESPN Zone and catch a game together. It doesn't matter the sport. It doesn't matter who's playing. Go get a bucket of wings, a bucket of Coronas, and just spend a couple hours hanging out together. And look, Tim, if you're not a sports guy like you can go for a spa treatment. Get a little mani-pedi going.
Wait a minute. Coronas?
Dos Equis? Stella?
Okay. I tell you that my daughter actually probably wouldn't mind going out on the golf course, although I will tell you, I don't know how typical this is of kids. Her interest in golf starts and stops with driving the golf cart. And that's about it.
They have GPSs.
Everything that happens outside the golf court, it's immaterial. It's the driving the golf cart is the fun
And
part.
you know what? And if, as long as you're not trying to pop wheelies and chase gators with it, you can have fun. You can have fun doing that as well.
That's why we're sticking to Fantasia Fairways. She can't get in trouble that way. So, the next real one I had on my list, but it's actually sort of related to the fishing aspect and being out alone, enjoying the quiet and that sort of thing. My daughter and I have done this a couple times, and I think it's a really great way to share a nice Disney experience with your child one-on-one, and it's getting a Surrey bike, which you can do in a number of places. And we've done it at Crescent Lake by the Epcot resorts, and also done it at the Wilderness Lodge, which is really nice because you can go back and forth between Wilderness Lodge and Fort Wilderness, and it's very serene back there, very quiet. And like you said when you were fishing, you not only hear the sounds of nature around, you can occasionally hear the steam whistle or the wolf at the Haunted Mansion if you listen closely. And it's really a really one-of-a-kind experience. It's really funny that you realize you're in Walt Disney World, the most popular place in the world, and when you're on the bike riding the trails, you feel like you're in a world all to yourself, which is amazing. A little different at Crescent Lake. Of course, it's more crowded, but it's fun in a different way. But I will warn you, if you're riding with a kid, be prepared for them to take a little time off as you have to go up those hills. You might be tending to do that yourself because it's kind of taxing on little legs, and big legs too, I'll add. That's a hard hill to get up to. But it's really fun because it's just you and your family, whether it's your child or children or with your wife, your whole family. But it's something you're doing together. You're experiencing either the nature at Wilderness Lodge or the magic of Epcot as you're circling Crescent Lake. And time it right, you can watch illuminations on the bridge, and that's an experience I've never forgotten. That was one of my favorite moments I've had with my daughter one-on-one. So
I like it. I like it a lot. And the next on my list is, it's a simple thing. It's a simple experience. And you can do it, take your dad or take your kids or take your whole family. But, I thought about just sort of those simple things to do in Walt Disney World. And it's just go out for dinner and grab a great steak. Go have a really good meal somewhere. And we talk a lot about the dining experiences at Walt Disney World, and we talk about things like Victoria and Albert's or the California Grill, but sometimes you want to just go out and be a guy's guy and, a hunter and a gatherer and go out and grab a great steak. And the two places I would recommend on property would be the Yachtsman Steakhouse, which I think arguably is right up there with the second on my list for the top places to get a steak. Another place, Tim, I think a lot of people don't realize is even there is Shula's over at the Dolphin. And Shula's has exceptional steaks. It's not going to be the cheapest meal you have in Walt Disney World, but if you want to indulge or you want to treat your dad, and I'm sure he deserves it, you can do things. And here's my menu for you. When you and I go to research this is what you can buy me. You start off with the 8-ounce cold water lobster tail appetizer, which is only $40. It's only $40 for the 8-ounce tail. You then
the appetizer is $40?
Correct. And then you take it down a notch. You have a big beefsteak tomato and gorgonzola cheese, which is awesome. And that's only $11. Not a big deal.
Nice.
So then you can choose between the 48-ounce porterhouse. That's a mere $85. The 32-ounce prime rib. A 12-ounce filet is probably right up my alley. It's about $43. A wide variety of steaks. They bring them right to your table so you can see it. They explain it to you. You can choose. The sides are phenomenal. I recommend the crab macaroni and cheese. Save some room for dessert. Molten chocolate lava cake or 7-layer chocolate. I mean, the menu is phenomenal. The food is fantastic. You can spend a few hours in there. You've got the sort of sport connection with Coach Shula. A great restaurant, again, because it is not sort of high on the radar it's relatively easier to get into than a place like Le Cellier. And again, I think the food there is much better. And you really, Tim, could just have one of those memorable nights. You know, you take your daughter, or a son treats his dad, or your daughter treats you. Shula's over at the Dolphin is a big thumbs up for me.
Sounds good. And that was a promise I heard you're taking me next time? That's very nice of you.
Or I was going to say, if you want to take your partner on Celebrations Magazine.
I'm going to say my vote, and I think we talked about this before, my vote for best steak on property is Artist Point at the Wilderness Lodge. Just want to get that out there. Unbelievable.
I'm not going to argue.
Absolutely.
I'm not going to argue.
Absolutely unbelievable. Now, it's funny. I think it was predictable that we would both have food on our list at some point. So I'm going to take this opportunity to put my food entry in there. And I'm kind of going on the opposite side of the spectrum you did. And mine is just...
You're going to be cheap. You're going to go for the cheap meal, aren't you?
I'm going to be cheap. Well, it's not cheap. It's memorable. It's fun. It's beaches and cream. And actually, I have another one, too. But that's another thing my daughter and I love. We just buy ourselves, go there, get the requisite cheeseburger, but save room for the dessert, of course. Now, it depends on your appetite and what your mood is. If it were up to me, we would share No Way Jose for the peanut butter. My daughter would go for the fudge mudslide with the Oreo cookies. I don't think either one of us have the guts, literally and figuratively, for the kitchen sink. But we may have to try it one day. We might need a little help, Lou, so maybe we could do a group get together and tackle that one.
But you know what, though? It's not about finishing the kitchen sink. It's about goofing around with your kid, and let's just order it, and who cares? Let's just see how far we can go.
Exactly.
And whether you get 5 bites into it or you finish the whole thing, you will carry that memory with you of, remember that time we went and we were just drenched in maraschino cherries and chocolate?
I thought we weren't going to talk about that. Oh, my goodness. I have one more restaurant I want to throw in there, too. And I've talked about this many times. I know the Whispering Canyon at the Wilderness Lodge. I bring it up only because not only is it fun-filled, there's a lot of activities going on, a lot of hoopla. As you may recall, Lou, if you time it right, and this is what the kids will get a kick out of, we, of course, know about the infamous pony rides that the kids get to participate in throughout the day. But every once in a while, the dads will get to go up and perform I'm a Little Teapot for everybody. And if you say that to me now, I shudder with memories of what happened a few months ago, which I hope nobody recorded. You're denying the whole thing, aren't you, Lou?
My silence should be quite telling.
But I tell you, the kids, that I guarantee you, that is something your kids will never forget, is seeing Dad up there with everybody else, singing I'm a Little Teapot, complete with arm motions, choreography, and an encore, if the audience is so inclined, and they usually are.
But that's it. I mean, that's what it's all about, is being a goofball like that. And who cares how embarrassed you are? Because, first of all, you'll never see those other people again. But your kids will remember that. You know, the same way, you know, like the first time you watch a parade, whatever it is, they will remember you and how goofy you were. And that's how I know how my kids, you know, that's how they remember my father, was the way he was when we did stuff like that. Because he would be the guy who would be up there and he'd be singing and doing the I'm a Little Teapot. So it's about creating those memories for those kids as much as it is creating memories for you.
Yep.
So moving on, again, I stayed, Tim, sort of with the simple thing. I thought about, you know, what if you're spending the day with the whole family together in the parks and you're going to the Magic Kingdom and you're running around? What about just spending a night together? You know, let mom or let the girls go off on their own and just spending a night together with dad, or maybe dad just wants to take his daughter out for a night, just the two of them. So I sort of came up with a mini itinerary, which is sort of like a night in downtown Disney. Get yourself out of the parks, get away from the theme parks a little bit. Have dinner at some place you might not normally have tried. Raglan Road, Portobello, House of Blues, you know, one of those I was going to say Captain. I didn't mean Captain Jack's. I was going to say Fulton's Crab House. Certainly not Captain Jack's. Have a nice dinner, and then maybe take an evening ride on Characters in Flight. It's like $18 for adults. Really nice experience. Then do something like go see a show, go to Lanuba, or go to see a band perform, if that's your thing, over at House of Blues. And then just wind down the night, just going maybe over to the bar at Paradiso 37, having a drink together. And by drink, I don't mean it's got to be, doing shots and keggers and funnels with your dad. I mean, it can be an iced tea and, a seltzer, whatever it is, but just sort of hanging out and recapping the day and just talking. And Paradiso 37 right there by the water is a really nice environment. And there's a bunch of places like that. Again, Rattling Road, too, in downtown Disney. A little bit louder there, but I think it's sort of a nice way to just end the night, just the two of you or three of you or however many siblings and parents you have.
Very nice. Yeah, seltzer for me, please. So.
Shots.
I love it.
Tim wants shots.
Jello shots. I don't do that. My next one involves a keepsake kind of item to get as you're enjoying your day, your evening, however you're celebrating Father's Day. And it would be to get a picture of yourselves, whether it's the whole family or you and the kids or you and your daughter or what have you. Many places to do it. You can get silhouettes of yourself at Liberty Square. You can get a photo ride from Test Track or whatever, Buzz Lightyear, and better yet, keep score on who wins. Any kids want to send me a note, I'll send you the tip so you can beat Dad. Or go to the Imagination Pavilion, go to one of the kiosks, get a picture of yourself, let your child put goofy mustaches and glasses and jewelry on you, whatever, and send it to yourself. Go to Tatooine Traders or Tomorrowland, get a Star Wars photo of you, whether you're Princess Leia and Luke Skywalker or whatever you want to do. There's so many ways to get a photographic souvenir remembrance. And the cool thing about it is not only is it fun to do it together, but you'll have a keepsake that the kid could have or you can keep, and you look back later and just remember the day you had. And better yet, if you celebrate every year, you do the same thing over and over. So then as you look back on it, you have a series of pictures, and you can see how your child grew up and that sort of thing. It makes for obviously wonderfully lasting memories, especially if you're having a special day together.
Yeah, and I'm very, very much with you on this one. This was also didn't need to be on my list because it's very, very personal to me. The idea of some sort of a souvenir, and I think a photograph is the best. It's the least expensive because it's just going to be you, and you don't even need anything other than you and your digital camera. The first time we went to Walt Disney World was November of '71, so you can see how early I was sort of indoctrinated / brainwashed into the whole Disney thing. And my dad took a picture of me sitting in front of the watch shop on Main Street, USA, in my bad 70s clothes and worse-looking 70s hair and my first pair of Mickey ears. And he took that shot, and it's one that I have literally carried with me for the past almost 40 years. It became affectionately known for us as the spot, and every time we went back, we would take another picture there, and you can see sort of the progression. My clothes got worse, and so did my hair, but at that same spot, every year, we would recreate that photo, and I now do it with my kids, and it's something that meant so much to my dad and meant so much to me and now means so much to my kids because they know the legacy behind it. It may sound silly now, but I am telling you, years from now, you will appreciate the fact that you did that with your kids or with your dad. So,
oh, absolutely. We did with Michelle, or my daughter, at Minnie's house, having her picture taken by the refrigerator, which is a popular photo spot, so you have to wait your turn. But it is. You look back over the years, and you see her growing up and up. But first she could barely reach the shelves, and then now she's taller than the refrigerator. And, yeah, you're right. And actually, it's funny. The picture you mentioned is the first. I'm gonna make you cry here, Lou. It's the first I really knew of you. Before I knew you, I saw that picture in your book, and I thought that was the coolest thing. And I think that was one of the first things I told you, that I saw that picture, and I thought it was a really cool thing of you sitting there. Not because you looked cool. You saw yourself short. Your hair was pretty happening back then. But I guess I kind of thought that thing. That's such a cool thing to have a picture of you or your kids or your family in the spot, wherever it is, and just keep that and that's your spot, wherever your family decides to take it. I know someone who takes pictures of their daughter at the Christmas trees at World Showcase every year, and for them it'll be the same kind of memory. You look back on it and bring back memories of all the different years and all the different times you had together.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Moving on to my next one is, again, just one of those special things you can do at the end of the night. I think for so many people, fireworks in the Magic Kingdom, whether Wishes is your favorite or Illuminations is your favorite, they really sort of encapsulate so many emotions, and you see that range of emotions go through dads and moms and kids of every age. And there's a way you can sort of plus that experience up. You can do a Wishes dessert party over in the Magic Kingdom. Those are about $26 each for adults, $14 for kids. For Illuminations, you can do a lot of different things. If it's just a couple of you, you can take out an Illuminations cruise. You can also do a Wishes cruise, and especially now with Summer Nightastic and the Perimeter Fireworks, highly, highly recommend a Wishes cruise from the Contemporary Polynesian or Grand Floridian. You could also take it for Illuminations from the Yacht and Beach Club Marina. Really, really nice way. And for something like Father's Day, you can bring on, there's snacks and drinks and things like that, but you can bring on stuff if you want to, if need be. You can tell them if it's a special occasion. They could even decorate the boat, whether it's a birthday or whatever kind of celebration it is. You can really enhance that as much as you might like. And look, you might have seen Illuminations 1,000 times, but seeing it from that vantage point and seeing it in a way that's a little bit special is, again, one of those memories that you kind of carry with you forward.
Yeah, it is. Actually, I do have a memory with my stepfather. We were there last year, I think, watching Illuminations, and we've both seen it 100 times, but seeing it at Christmas with the holiday ending was amazing. Something we'll never forget. But my count is right. This is my number one coming up. And this is my absolute favorite thing I love to do with my daughter. And I will say, whether it's Father's Day or not, but it was the first thing I thought of when you said this. And it was going around World Showcase and experiencing KidCot with your child or children. And I think the thing about it, like having your kid experience KidCot and doing the mask and meeting the cast members and making it a journey to get through all 11 countries is really fascinating. The thing I really got excited about when I was doing it with my daughter was seeing World Showcase through her eyes, not the way I always saw it, and I love World Showcase. It's my favorite place in Disney World, but I see it my way. Seeing it through her eyes was a whole new experience, and looking at the look on her face when she would talk to cast members and they would tell her what her name was in their native language and write it down for them, and doing the projects or doing the masks and seeing all of the things in the pavilion through her eyes, which is great because normally the kids would probably just walk through World Showcase and not pay much attention to it. But with KidCot, it really becomes an experience for them. And I think if you experience it with them, it's something that you'll never forget as well. And it's a memory you can share. I will say my daughter and I did it several years ago. We went around, and to this day, it's a memory. It's one of our most cherished memories of all the times we've been at Walt Disney World.
And notice, too, Tim, and I love that idea, how simple so many of these things are. Simple, and in many cases, very inexpensive or free. And certainly I'm not talking about things like Shula's and some of the things we talked about. But for the most part, I mean, a lot of the things that we're talking about doing are just, they're very, very basic. The final one on my list is not necessarily the first one on my list. I think the one that we just spoke of about the photographs and things like that probably would be if I had to rank them in order. But something that I have liked doing, and the first time I ever did it was with my dad and actually with my brother, was just sort of that guy thing. We couldn't go on a fishing trip that year, so we all went down to Walt Disney World, and we took a backstage tour together. We actually did Backstage Magic, which is the 7.5-hour tour. Not sure my dad knew it was going to be 7.5 hours of walking in the August sun, but look, this is a guy, Tim, that carried me on his shoulders, literally, as a kid. And by kid, I mean when I was like 15, through Walt Disney World, so he was able to do it. But no matter what your interest is in the parks, whether it's the history, whether it's the trivia, whether it's the architecture and design of Animal Kingdom, there is something for everybody. There's backstage safaris, there's Wild by Design, there's Dive Quest, which I know friends who have done it with their kids was an incredible bonding experience for them. There's the Gardens of the World, the Hidden Treasures of the World Showcase. The Segway tours, I think, are wonderful because it's such a fun, different experience that you probably wouldn't do anywhere else. Again, the Backstage Magic Tour or even Keys to the Kingdom. Now there's the new Inspiration Through Walt's Eyes tour. If you're a train guy, the Magic Behind the Steam Trains tour. I mean, there is probably 20 plus different tours that you can choose from depending on your time, your budget, you and your dad's interests. So I think any one of those is, again, another one of those different experiences that you can bring and something that's memorable that you should be able to take with you from it.
Agree. Totally. I have an honorable mention.
Well, of course. Of course we have to have honorable mentions.
Wait, this is only for if my family happens to be listening right now. A great way to celebrate Father's Day.
Are you going to ask for some? You're going to ask for an iPad, aren't you?
No, would be to take your father to Toy Story 3 and get him Reese's Pieces and a large Coke slush.
I'll make a call.
It. I don't know if anyone's listening, but I just throw it out there.
I'll make a call. I'll make a call to the foster women and see what we can do to make that happen. There is something a serious honorable mention. No, there's not a lot. There's just one that I wanted to mention, and again, it's overlooked. I was initially going to say this is something, especially if your dad or you are a veteran or an active military. You don't have to be, but I think it makes it more special. Every day at 5 o'clock in Town Square is a flag retreat ceremony. It is an absolutely beautiful, unfortunately overlooked ceremony. We've talked about this in the past. You don't have to be a veteran. I know Disney often likes to have veterans in there, but if you want to let your dad or you participate, it's a first come, first serve kind of thing. You get to the Magic Kingdom, check in with guest relations to see and ask if you can be part of the ceremony. You can also try calling ahead of time and see if you can set something up. You want to talk about a moving, memorable experience, and especially if you maybe can surprise your dad with that. And that's why I say, Tim, if they are active or veterans of the military, it's such an amazing, amazing thing. And I think everybody should take the time on their trips at least once and go and see it and appreciate what that little 10, 15-minute ceremony is right in the center of Town Square. It's very, very moving. And for those that get to participate, it is something that they will forever carry forward with them. And if you can set that up for them, I think it would mean a lot to them.
That's very nice. That's a heck of an honorable mention, though. It sounds like you snuck in number 6 there.
I did sneak in,
but I can't say anything. It's a wonder. That is a wonderful thing you said. I think it is a great idea. And
listen, I give them flag retreat ceremony for the retired veterans. You ask for Reese's Pieces. I'm just call it what you will. So, but look,
work with me here.
Yeah, you end off with a work with me. But look, like I said, Tim, at the beginning, this is not about steaks. It's not about pictures. It's not about fishing. It's not about any of those things. It's not about what you do. It's about the time. It is about the time that you spend. And if there's something that that maybe your dad, like I said before, and you mentioned too, that maybe he took you to do as a child, recreate that memory, or that spot, for him or with him. Look, even if it's something like getting a haircut together at the Harmony Barbershop, or getting a photo with his favorite character, or riding, Space Mountain. This summer, take him to Walt Disney World. Don't take him to see Toy Story. Take him to Walt Disney World. Show him maybe an old favorite, like the Main Street Electrical Parade and the updated Haunted Mansion or Space Mountain or Spaceship Earth. Maybe not Figment so much, but some of those other attractions that maybe he hasn't seen in many years. Just savor that time together, no matter where you are, no matter what you are doing, even if it's just sitting on the boardwalk in the morning saying, Dad, come on, let's go grab a cup of coffee and watch the boats go by. That is what it's all about. And I invite you, the listener, to please share in this week's show notes at WDWradio.com the things that you like doing with your dad, or things that you remember doing with your father or parents as a child that may have stuck with you, and other things that maybe we left off the list that you would suggest to other people.
That's great. I want you to note, too, that in all of my items here, not one of them had anything to do with scaring my children.
Or other people's children, which is nice. I mean, you can do whatever you want to.
Or other people's children.
Right. Scaring your own children, that's up to you. But
no, I don't do that.
So, and look, forgive me if I sounded a little more sentimental and weepy and all kinds of mushy and emotional in this one. This is the first Father's Day since I lost my dad, and for that reason, this segment means so much to me, because I want other people to make sure they appreciate as much time that they have with their children or with their parents as they can. So thank you for indulging me just a little bit if it seemed a little bit more on the sentimental side.
I'm with you.
So Tim Foster from GuideToTheMagic.com, again, the creative genius that makes Celebrations Magazine look as good as it does, and I say that as a fan, not just as your partner. Definitely go by celebrationspress.com. Tim, my friend, thank you so much. If your family bails on you, I promise you, I will take you to Toy Story 3 in 3D, IMAX, sense around, and you can eat all the junk food that you want on me.
Reese's Pieces? Really?
Reese's Pieces. But you're the best. But we're going to Shula's and you're buying me the cold water lobster tail $41 appetizer.
Wait a minute.
It's fair. It's fair.
I'll get back to you on that one.
All right, buddy.
I don't know what we're celebrating. Can I throw a shameless plug in here?
You sure can. As if I wasn't just... Was I not just plugging you enough?
No, we have another shameless plug. As far as Guide to the Magic goes, we want to let everybody know we are running a summer special on the Guide to the Magic for kids, which is now $19.95, which is a lot less than it was. It's like 33% off. So if you're heading to Disney or want a gift for a friend, there's a great chance to get the book. If you want to check out the book, it's at GuideToTheMagic.com. And we're actually working on a few more surprises that are coming soon, but that's the first one. Just in time for summer. Thus ends my shameless plug.
And I like the tease, and I will tell you that Guide to the Magic for Kids is wholeheartedly endorsed by two very enthusiastic Mangello kids that take them around the house with them all day long. So you have three fans, including myself, here at the Mangello household.
All right.
Now you're so buying me the lobster tail and the fillet.
That's all right. I'll buy those trivia books. Which are wonderful. But steak sounds good.
There's a great big beautiful tomorrow, just a dream away. Man has a dream, and that's the start. He follows his dream, mind and heart, and when it becomes a reality, it's a dream come true for you and me. There's a great big beautiful
That's all the time we have for this week's show. Thanks again for taking the time and tuning in. Thanks also to Tim Foster from GuideToTheMagic.com and my partner on Celebrations Magazine, the print publication celebrating the magic of Walt Disney World, the Disney theme parks worldwide, the Disney films, and so much more. For more information, to subscribe, to order back issues, or to contribute, you can visit celebrationspress.com. Be sure and come by the website over at WDWradio.com. There you'll find this week's show notes, new videos, older episodes. You can comment on this week's show, photos, discussion forums, so much more. You'll also find various ways to connect with me and the show, whether it's Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn, friend feed, so much more. You can also download the free WDW Radio iPhone app. You can get signed copies of my Walt Disney World trivia books, audio guides. Again, lots more back on the site. Please come by. Check out all we have to offer over at WDWradio.com. A couple of quick announcements about some upcoming events taking place in and out of Walt Disney World, starting with July's Meet of the Month in Walt Disney World. It looks like the date is going to be Saturday, July 24th. And although I don't have a specific location locked in just yet, I'm going to try and make it someplace outside one of the theme parks, just in case maybe you don't have a pass or you have a seasonal pass. Maybe we'll look to Downtown Disney or a resort that's easily accessible to everybody. For more information, visit meetofthemonth.com, as well as Twitter and Facebook to get the latest updates. Other events coming up later on the year, including the Meets of the Month, also include the Pacific Northwest Mouse Meet. That's August 14th at the Linwood Convention Center in Linwood, Washington. I will be there. Celebrities will be there. There's a show and sale, discussions, lots more going on. You can find out more information by going to pnwmousemeet.com. September 24th and 25th is Destination D, the D23 event out in Disneyland, and we are planning an event out there. So mark your calendars. Stay tuned for more information. I will have some updates coming very soon. Congaloosh is October 8th through the 12th. Again, that is the event that's going to last all weekend in Walt Disney World, starting off with a tour by Jim Korkis, dinner and the show by the Adventurers Club cast on the stage of the Indiana Jones Epic Stunt Spectacular after Hollywood Studios is closed, a show and sale, a banquet, Q&A with the Adventurers Club cast. I'll be giving a couple of tours, lots more going on there. For more information and to register and to join the WDW Radio tribe, visit congaloosh.org. And if you register before July 15th, you can save $20 off your registration fee. And of course, what I'm really looking forward to is so close yet so far away. That is the WDW Radio cruise aboard the Disney Dream, February 27th, 2011. For more information, visit wdwradiocruise.com. Don't forget, I continue to want the show to be interactive. There's lots of ways that you can contribute. You can email me at lou@wdwradio.com if you have a question you want answered on the air. If you want to play Listener Fact or Fiction, send me an email with fact or fiction in the subject line and send me your name and phone number, because I may call you for a chance to answer 10 true or false trivia questions about Walt Disney World, win some prizes along the way. You can also call the voicemail anytime at 888-703-2171. I love hearing comments, questions, even phone calls from the park are just great. Just go ahead and share some of your experiences with us via the voicemail. Come back to WDWRadio.com. Also sign up for a free newsletter that you can get via email. And stay tuned for another WDW Radio Live, interactive, real-time video broadcast and chat coming very soon. And also, I want to say big thanks to my partners and sponsors, including MEI and Mouse Fan Travel. They are my official and recommended travel provider for all your vacation planning needs. And All-Star Vacation Home has more than 150 homes within 5 miles of Walt Disney World. You can find links to both of those sites right on the homepage of WDWRadio.com. And most of all, my friends, big thanks go out to you for taking the time and tuning in and being so supportive this and every week. I really do appreciate it. Again, if you are a dad, if you are a son, if you are a father-to-be or a grandpa, I hope you've had a very happy Father's Day and was able to spend time with your family and friends. As always, if you like the show, All I ask is that you please help spread the word, let others know about it, tweet out that you're listening, post a link over on Facebook, come by, review the show over in iTunes, and most importantly, I hope you guys have a great week this week, and remember that life is short, so keep moving forward and pursue your passion and take those first steps towards following your dreams, and have a great, great week, everybody. So until next time, see ya.
Hi, Lou. My name is Catherine, and I'm from Illinois. I'm 17 years old, and I just wanted to say that I'm a huge fan of your show. I listen every week, and I really love the little bit of Disney that I get each week. My family and I are going in a few days, and your show always helps me get prepared. Anyway, I would just like to say Happy Father's Day to my father, Dean. He's the person who introduced me to this show in the first place, and I have been enjoying it with him ever since. My dad is the best, and fun, magical places like Disney World would simply not be the same without him. Disney World is all about the memories that are made there, and my dad created so many of those memories that will last forever just by being his own wonderful, caring self. I can't wait until I get to spend time with my dad in Disney World. Keep up the great work, Lou. And to my dad, love you. Bye.
Hi, Lou. I'm calling because my husband Tim listens to your podcast all the time, and he loves your show. I was hoping that we could wish him a happy birthday. He turns 45 on this Sunday, Father's Day, and I know he'd love to hear us wish him a happy birthday. So, happy birthday, Tim.
Happy birthday, Tim.
Have a great birthday. Bye.
Hey, Lou, it's Todd from Jersey, and unlike my usual rambling long messages, this is pretty short. First of all, just finished listening to the podcast and the interview with Ahsoka Tano, Ashley Erickson. I can't get the name correct. But, did you just hit on her? I gotta think that Samantha Brown might be a little jealous after that. And Deanna, on the other hand, might be a little annoyed with the perfect woman comment. It's kind of funny. It was a great interview. She was a great person to fill out both of your interests, Star Wars and Disney. Is just awesome. So keep making great podcasts, and maybe next time I'll get the names correct. Thanks, Lou. Bye.
Hey, Lou, this is the Lippert family. We're queuing for Big Thunder Mountain. I can't believe I missed you at your meetup today. Either way, we can't wait to see the electric parade.
Hey, Lou, this is Steve. I'm at the airport getting ready to go home after a nice couple days at Walt Disney World. So I just wanted to call and say, hey, I got to meet you yesterday at the Meet of the Month at the Magic Kingdom. It was really great meeting you. And just want to say that, I had a great time down here. Went to Star Wars Weekends on Friday, and Magic Kingdom yesterday. Boy, the lines, I didn't wait more than 15, 20 minutes at each ride. It was great. I think everyone was over at Star Wars Weekends Hollywood Studios since it was the last weekend there. So hope to see you again soon. I'll be down there again in September. Hope we can meet up. Thanks. Bye.
Hey, Lou, this is Goofy Fitness Dad Michael at www.goofyfitnessdad.com from Birmingham, Alabama, and I'm just calling in to say Happy Father's Day. I hope you're having a fantastic Father's Day. I don't know if this will make it in time for the show on Father's Day or not. I'm a little bit late, but just hope you have a great one. Happy Father's Day to you and all the dads out there.
Hey, what's up, Lou? It's Ricky from Atlanta, Georgia. I was just wondering if you've seen the documentary, The Boys, the Sherman Brothers story. I was flipping through the demand channels, and it came up. It's pretty interesting. I was going to see if you or any of the other listeners have watched it. Love the show. Hope to be seeing you at the end of this year. I'll be a transportation CP from September to January. All right. Thanks for everything you do, Lou. I'll talk to you later.
Hi, Lou. This is Joel from Maryland. I just want to let you know I love the podcast. I've been listening for about a year now, and every single one, it's either a memory or new information, and it's absolutely wonderful. So thank you very much for those. And I also want to let you know, just returning not too long ago from a trip down to Disney, and I'm catching up on some of your podcasts, and the one about single parents, talking about safety with children. And one of the things that we used down there it's called Safety Tat. And basically what it was a temporary tattoo, which you could put on like the arm of a child with your phone number. So if they were lost, it would be right on their arm, and somebody could call that cell phone number and be able to find them right away. So I just thought that was nice, and both myself and my sister who was down there, we both used it for our kids just in case we would get separated. We have 2 toddlers, so it worked out really good. So I just want to let you know in case any of your other listeners might be looking for something like that. Like I said, you can find them online. So, all right, looking forward to the next one. Have a great day. Thanks. Bye.
Hey, Lou, it's Sam M. from Pittsburgh, June 17th, calling from World Showcase in Front of China after a wonderful meal at the Nine Dragon. It was an honor to meet you at the meet of the month on the 12th. And as you're aware, the character bands or silly bands have arrived in Walt Disney World. So anyone with a daughter from, say, 6 to 12 can look forward to the character bands, which are princesses and Toy Story and Cars and the Disney fairies we saw. Thanks for all you do. Looking forward to Toy Story 3 premiere tomorrow at Downtown Disney. Thanks again.
Hi, Lou. Dave from Newton, Iowa, Papa Disney 9. Every year we go down with our 9 grandchildren. Well, we take 2 of our grandchildren every year. We rotate them around. I know it sounds odd. That's what we do. Anyway, I just had a thought while listening to your podcast. People are quick to go into guest services, I noticed, to complain. What I do is when I'm down there, I go into guest services and thank them, especially after I've had a good time in the park. You know, just it takes about 10, 15 seconds. Walk in and tell the cast member, hey, thanks a lot. I had a fantastic time, as I always do at Disney anyway. And if you are having a bad time, go in and discuss it with them in a calm manner so they can fix the issue if there is one. They're there to help you. But people are quick to complain. Go in and pay a compliment. Give them a pat on the back because they deserve it. Like I said, love your podcast. Enjoy your video cast. Celebration Magazine's fantastic. Can't wait to hear your next show. And your 24-hour show was awesome, Lou. Great job. Have a great day, and thanks again for keeping us close to Disney.
Hello, Lou. Driving home from work on a Thursday into May, listening to 171. Just had to stop the show and give a shout-out to Becky for mentioning Cava de Tequila. I did enjoy it. It's pretty cool. Tim in Swanee, Georgia. Thanks, Lou. Bye.
Hi, Lou. This is Karen calling from Toms River, New Jersey, actually calling from the All-Star Resort. We just got back from Animal Kingdom, Extra Magic Hours, and I just wanted to let everybody know that if you like to see all the details in Animal Kingdom, you want to go at night on Extra Magic Hours. When the park is all lit up with the different lights that you don't get to see during the day, it's absolutely beautiful, and we noticed so many more details than we normally do. And it was, even for us, when we, our family doesn't like to go to any of the thrill rides, really, so we just did It's Tough to Be a Bug, dinner, and then walked around and just looked at everything, and it was absolutely beautiful. And Dino Land I saw it in a completely new light. So just, if anybody has a chance and they've never thought about going there on Extra Magic Hours, it was really fun. So thanks for everything that you do, Lou, and we'll see you. Bye.